What's your name?
Fausia.
It's so lovely to meet you. Finally, I heard you read my book and
Yeah.
you had been waiting to meet me. So, what part of the book did you enjoy the most?
Enjoyed the part that Grandma Julie taught Sandra the way of life, how she could live in this life. It could be difficult at time, and it could be just so lovely.
Did you learn any wise sayings at all?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. If I were to write another book, what would you love me to write about?
I would love you to write how you live in this life. I think
you want me to share more of my own personal experiences.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know, the interesting thing is, as a writer, your writing comes from three major places. So your personal experiences, the experiences of other people, and largely your imagination. So in terms of a dressmaker, I actually used all of the three, blended all of the three. I had a grandma whose impact in my life was phenomenal. You know, she shared a lot of wise lessons with me, and so I picked a bit of that, bits and pieces here and there, and I put in the tales of a dressmaker. And then I did a bit of relying on my imagination to put the book together as well. You know, what other interesting books have you read?
I've read Linton's book. I've read
books by Linton. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've read different titles, and each taught me moral lesson. And
so, when you read Tales of a Dressmaker, what part of it did you feel you wanted to talk to the author about? What questions did you have when you were reading it, and you're like, oh, if I wish I could meet the author, this is what I would say to her?
I would ask if it might be a funny question.
Okay, ask me. It doesn't matter.
I would ask if you were the one at the.
If I was Sandra, if it was about me.
Yeah.
Well, bits and pieces of it about me, but not entirely everything.
There is a book in everyone. That's the idea that drives the activities of a group called the Bookpreneurs. They recently hosted an event in Lagos, and we were there. Enjoy this.
To that, I have a group.
They're called the Bookpreneurs. For them, there's a book in everyone, and that book needs to be written and shared with others. Recently in Lagos, at a Bookpreneur event, guests gathered to learn about how to envision, write, and publish their own books.
Whatever it is, don't just write for writing's sake.
Personal testimonials from published authors inspired others.
2002 thereabouts, I was looking for a book for children on the environment. And I wanted it to be a book that was African, well, more especially Nigerian. And I couldn't find any. All the books I could find on the environment were all foreign. Eventually, when I found books that were by Africans, they were from Kenya and Ghanaians. So I decided that I will get a Nigerian to write the book. I never planned to write a book. Anyway, into someone who happened to be someone I knew, but not necessarily my friend. And so we wrote the book. And how this happened was like, I was looking at what she was writing and correcting her, and then I came up with some things, and she looked at me and like, where did that come from? I said, I don't know, must be somewhere in my head. And anyway, so that's how it is we wrote the book.
It's something beyond time management. I was invited to speak, you know TED Talk. So I was invited to speak TED Talk, Mystery of Time. So how to shrink time, how to compress time, how time is elastic, and how you can make the best use of time. Most of us don't know that we spend like, in 5 years, if you live in Lagos, you've already spent minimum of 1 year in the car. In 25 years, that's 5 years of your life in the car. And most of the time, we're doing nothing. So we can be creative around it. We can go to a tertiary institution in the car. It means you can play a course in the car. So I wrote that book, and because of the TED Talk, I got a call from a publishing firm outside the country. They were interested. To cut the long story short, it was a deal, 5 years deal.
I want to encourage us to write. I've got about 3 titles I want to write about myself. I want to write about the Nigerian entrepreneur, challenges and opportunities in Nigeria. It's one of the books I'm also putting together. My own experience, because I've done so many businesses. Right now I sit on the board of about 10 companies and I'm not tired yet. You know, I see some of my colleagues, I say, oh, I'm 60 years old, I want to retire. I say, well, maybe when I'm 95, I'll retire. He said, 95? I said, yes. Why should I want to retire now? Retire to do what? There's so many things. I wish I was 40 years younger, because there's so many things young people can do. IT, software, you know, there's so many exciting things. You know, the future is just great for Nigeria. I don't see the negatives at all. I see a lot of opportunities and see a lot of beautiful people here today. I can see millionaires coming out with their books.
Oladuniowo, who pioneered Bookpreneur, is always passionate about reminding everyone they can write their own books and how important doing so can be.
You don't have to write my kind of book. I wrote my first book was actually a professional book, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be a message you have inside of you that the whole world is waiting to listen to. So there's a book in everybody, all sorts and all kinds. Just leverage on what you've been exposed to in life and start writing.
Awards were shared with those who managed to inspire others with their writing stories.
Congratulations. Well done.
Okay.
And I will read your book. Congrats.
Thank you, Ise Agnes, for being a bookpreneur.
It was all about the making of a new group of writers and authors.
It's amazing how many people want to write, but they're just too scared of how much money comes into it. But when you realize that you have a support community, professionals who can help you to write your book in no time, to get it out there, give you a platform, and even help you to know how to turn that book into a business, it's an amazing place to be. I've always said it, that inside of us is at least 1,000 books that need to come out. The best place to start is to get started. And joining a community like the Bookpreneur is a perfect place to be. When you see other people who have done it, they encourage you. You take the first step, the next step, the next step. We teach you how to do it. You can write an ebook in 4 hours. You can write it in 1 weekend. You can write it in 6 months.
Everybody you have here are either authors, readers, writers, people that have things to do with book, and they are leveraging on books so they move to their next levels in their lives, in their career, in their business, in every area of their lives. It's all about books.
As always, we'll be delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. I am Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.